So a couple of years back, a friend of mine was doing the Leaving Cert, the final exams here in Ireland, for those of you who aren't from Ireland. And so he was doing his final exams in high school, secondary school as we call it. And as far as I'm aware, to this day, he never actually picked up his results. That was years ago. That was 7 years ago. So because he said, my life will not be defined, I will not be defined by a sheet of paper saying my results, telling me my results, right? And I thought that's interesting because no one is actually saying that your life is defined by those results. No one is saying that, because you got a couple of A's, a couple of B's, a couple of C's, and a couple of scrape I's, that this makes you a good person, bad person, a different person. That's no one will actually know. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone passes the Leaving Cert. No one fails. Very few. At the end of the day, yeah, okay, I won't go into it. But generally speaking, if you turn up at all, you will pass. So this doesn't define you. But in his mind, these results defined him. And I thought, well, see, again, maybe I have a slightly different perspective, but obviously I'm a bit older than him, but I was thinking, you see, the Leaving Cert, our results don't define us, but they do show something about us. Just like in any degree or any master's, it's not just the fact that you know the material that you were supposed to study in that field, right? So say you get a master's in history, okay. You presume then that this person is fairly well informed about history, okay. But it also shows something else. If someone does the Leaving Cert or gets a degree or gets a master's, it shows that they're able to take a responsibility, a topic, a theme, and motivate themselves and do the necessary study and get their papers in on time and turn up to lectures and do the research and write the thesis or whatever it's supposed to be and get all that done on time. So it's not just about what you know, it's the fact that you can be responsible. Right? So it's not just the sheet of paper at the end. No one has ever asked me, nor do I even remember actually, what my results were in philosophy or theology in the seminary. Did you get what was your average? I can't even remember. I don't care. No, nor does it matter to anybody else. I don't think. I can tell you. I can look it up if it really interests you. I don't know. but I don't think it bothers anyone. It just doesn't matter. But the point is that when you do a degree or something, it shows that I can take something. Also, the part when we do the Leaving Cert, for example, there will be subjects you don't like. Maybe you love maths and can't stand Irish. Maybe you love Irish, can't stand maths. But you've no choice. They're compulsory. So you have to actually just do them. Do the exam, turn up, do your homework, so on and so forth, do the exam and pass it. So it's not just about, as I say, the paper at the end, but it's about the fact that the journey is formative. The journey towards the degree, the journey towards the Leaving Cert teaches us strength of character, teaches us integrity, teaches us to do things we don't want to do for a greater good. And when I think of Jonah today, and that's where this whole thought was coming from. I think also for us on our journey towards the Lord, it's not just kind of get to heaven and we're good to go. As in, if we could just kind of fast forward to the day before we die and then just get to heaven, that'd be great. The whole point, I think, of this life is that the journey is formative. Each day I get to choose to follow Him, as our opening song so beautifully played and sung for us. Today I choose to follow you. The journey is formative. It's not, again, similarly, it's not just about I just get married. If I just kind of fast forward to marriage, would be great. But no, it can't work like that, because the journey of learning self-control, learning to pray for your future husband or wife, waiting with patience. When you'd rather, again, fast forward to dating, or when you're dating, you'd rather fast forward to engagement. When you're engaged, you'd rather fast forward to marriage. The journey is formative. The journey is necessary. And then within that going out period or engagement period, learning self-control, this is really, really important, because when you're married, you're going to need it. When you're married, you're going to need self-control. You're going to need to be able to say no to your own impulses or your own desires or your own what you'd like to do with your weekend or with your time, especially when children come along. Now you have to renounce your own hobbies and what you'd like to do in favour of your kids. And if you don't learn that on the journey, you fast forward to marriage or children, and now you're not ready. You're a big man baby who can't renounce himself in favour of his family. Because I have to play Xbox on the weekend. I just can't renounce myself. So it's like the journey here is really, really important. The journey is important. It's not just the conclusion. What does that mean? What that means is whatever the Lord is allowing in our lives today is part of the journey. Whatever the Lord is allowing in our lives today is an opportunity to be formed. So it's not that he has forgotten about us until we get married. Oh, then he remembered. Oh, when we get married, then the Lord now his plan is fulfilled or taking shape. Forgetting that the whole journey is formative. The whole journey is an opportunity for me then to, in the good days, to learn to come back to him and say, Lord, I thank you. I thank you so much for today. Today was beautiful. Today was epic. Today was a day of friendship and celebration, and a day of joy, a day of victory. That's great. Now in the good days, I'm learning to return everything back to God. And in the bad days, I'm learning to hold on to him in the storm. I'm learning to say, Lord, I don't get what's happening. I don't like what's happening. Today is difficult. Today is heavy. Today is dark. Today is lonely. But I'm going to use it. Lord, I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to stay with you today. Because there will be there will be ebbs and flows. There will be days, better days will come. Of course there will. But today I want to use this part of the journey to learn how to pray. Maybe deeper than I've ever prayed before. Because now I find myself in need. So I don't want to think that today, just because things aren't good, today is the day that you've forgotten me. And when there are joyful days, these are the days that you have blessed me. As if these days I was forgotten. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. The days when things are not easy, when things are not good, when things are not as we would have them, when these are opportunities. These are opportunities to grow. They really are. They really are, and they can be hard. I remember Father Mike Schmitz in a homily once. He said, "If we follow the Lord will change our plans. The Lord will change our plans." And he gave a couple of examples. One of them was like Saint Maximilian Kolbe, who sets out to be a Franciscan friar. Then did he intend on setting up the Knights of the Immaculata and starting this whole printing press and getting the good news out there? Did he intend on doing that when he started? Probably not. Did he intend on getting arrested? Did he intend on setting up Niepokalano in Poland? Did he or Nagasaki? Did he intend on setting up any of these missions? Did he intend on them? No. Did he intend on getting arrested and ended up in Auschwitz? No. How much of this was his plan? None. Just one day at a time. But then, like ending up in Auschwitz and being faithful to the Lord in those moments where 10 prisoners escaped. A prisoner escaped, and in punishment, then the Nazis took 10 of the remaining prisoners and sent them to the starvation bunkers. One man burst into tears saying that he has a family, he doesn't want to die this way. And St. Maximilian Kolbe steps forward and says, I will take this man's place. And one of the SS guards comes up to him, stares him in the face and says, who are you? He says, I'm a Catholic priest. It's good enough for me. Yeah, into the bunker with him. Now, see, that moment, that key critical moment that was now setting up his martyrdom, that didn't happen just like that. That was prepared by the long journey, the daily yeses to the Lord in all sorts of difficult circumstances, the daily yeses for years preceding that moment. That's where that yes came from. And so it is with us, and so it has to be. So it is with us, that our yeses in marriage, our yeses in priesthood, our any of these occasions where we renounce ourselves in favour of something else, we learn it on a daily basis during this journey. The journey is formative, and on the bad days you are not forgotten. You are not forgotten, ever. That just wouldn't make sense, because then that would mean that God has our attention, or we have God's attention sometimes, and on other occasions we don't. And that's just not true. That's not true. So I think there should be great consolation in that. Because it means that today, if today isn't a good day, it means I'm not forgotten. This isn't the day now when I'm not in God's hand anymore and he'll eventually pick me up or find me. No, you're in his hand. You're in his hand today. And whatever the Lord has allowed, whatever the Lord has unveiled, whatever change of program the Lord has inserted into our lives, let us accept it from the hand of a loving Father. And let us see in today an opportunity, Lord, for you to do marvelous things in us, for you to work miracles in us and through us. And Lord, that the steps of today will lead us to the fulfillment of whatever our vocation is eventually, but what we're learning today is necessary that I can do that well, that I can fulfill my vocation well. So if I'm learning to love, if I'm learning to forgive, if I'm learning to give you control, if I'm learning trust, this is all necessary this is all preparation for whatever vocation you have in mind for me, Lord. Lord, help me to walk today with trust. Help me to walk today with trust. Help me, Lord, not to miss an opportunity to grow in virtue. Form my heart. And Lord, as with Jonah, take away any fear that I may have of doing what you ask of me. Bend my will to yours, O Lord. Amen.